Misogyny could become the latest form of hate crime in the UK. So, a review is soon to take place about whether misogynistic conduct should be considered a hate crime. The review comes after a Labour MP, Stella Creasy, called for the law to change. The BBC reports, on Wednesday, MPs approved the voyeurism bill, which would ban the taking of unsolicited pictures under someone's clothing, known as upskirting in England and Wales. Proposals to create a new criminal offence, which is already on the statute book in Scotland, will now be considered by the House of Lords. Ms Creasy, the MP for Walthamstow, wanted to amend the draft law to allow judges to take into account whether people convicted of hate crimes against women should get a tougher sentence if it was motivated by misogyny or if misogyny was deemed to be an aggravating factor. Okay, so let's try and break this down. So she's suggesting that in some cases someone might take an upskirt photo and not be a misogynist, and in some cases they might take an upskirt photo and they are a misogynist. Now, first off, doing this, regardless of what your motivation is, wrong. Totally wrong. And I think if you're doing it in the first place, then it's quite likely that you don't really have much respect for women. Otherwise, why would you be taking an upskirt photograph of them? So, you see the issue with this? What I think this means is that Ms Creasy, MP, is trying to bring in this misogyny sort of element to this bill in order to slip in through the back door new misogyny hate crimes. It sets a legal precedent and means that other people might end up in trouble for quote-unquote misogyny. And thankfully, that was noticed by Justice Minister Lucy Fraser. She said that she agreed with Miss Creasy's concerns, but that the voyeurism bill wasn't the right vehicle to change things. Okay, bit of sanity, great. But then she suggested instead that a new hate crime law that tackles misogyny might be a better idea. So it could well be that hate crime legislation in the UK includes misogyny from now on. And that leads me to a few questions. First off, who gets to decide what misogyny is? Are the government going to be bringing in independent advisors from, I don't know, Hope Not Hate? The communist groups they regularly associate with, especially when documentaries air with so-called experts on the far right and they go straight to the communists. So who is the government going to go to on misogyny? Are we meant to be listening to these far-left groups that claim that anyone who says anything negative about a woman is a misogynist? I mean, can you see why this is a problem here? Also, who gets to decide after you've been, arrested for your misogyny? Who gets to decide actually if you did it or not? And then, will jokes be considered misogynist? Look at what happened to Count Dankula up in Scotland. This new hate crime is opening a can of worms that we really don't want to open. But if Labour has anything to do with it, it will be. If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, remember to like and subscribe.